financial planner. Follow us on YouTube
by searching his name, Kenn Bosak, youtube.com/Kenn Bosak, and his website, if you want to learn more about him after we have this call, is kennbosak.com, has all of his information.
Hey, how goes it? Thank you for having me on, man. I am honored to be a guest on such a prestigious show, man. This is awesome.
Oh, man. Well, the pleasure is all mine. Hey, by way of introduction and getting to know you, how did you get involved with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? What led you to this space?
Oh, well, big shout out to a buddy of mine, Matt Harris. Actually helped him out by getting him a job where I was working. And in return, he educated me on this awesome thing called Ethereum. And I was like, I didn't get it at first. He showed me a couple videos. I read a couple things, the Internet of Money. And he kind of, educated me on the Internet of Things via Ethereum. And I was like, wait, this makes total sense. And then I, obviously stumbled into Bitcoin, the Internet of Money. And luckily for me, the Internet of Things made it easier for me to understand the concept of the Internet of Money. Not the other way around, like most people were into Bitcoin because Ethereum came later. So I kind of got it, and it just all clicked for me, and I just saw how, easy life should be with sending value across the internet or trading value. And I was like, between Ethereum and Bitcoin, I just was all in on cryptocurrency. And from actually the first day I heard about Ethereum and Bitcoin, before that first day was over, I actually bought a whole Bitcoin. My whole Bitcoin was, first one was $460 something. And I wrote an article on Medium titled, I don't know what a Bitcoin is, but I own one.
That's hilarious. I don't know what a Bitcoin is, but I own one. All right, man. Well, hey, it's kind of interesting, and I want to throw this out there for you. Eric Voorhees is already calling cryptocurrencies digital assets. And he's basically saying that, hey, cryptocurrencies are more than just money. They're tools for so many different things and solving problems in so many different areas. And we were talking about here before the call, just decentralized platforms for these centralized governmental and entities like Google and whatever, the mainstream narrative that are controlling the content that we say and censoring us in so many ways. And here we have cryptocurrencies solving that. Anyways, that's a side note. As far as calling cryptocurrencies and sticking with that, I'm wondering if people are going to get away from the word crypto because it sounds so conspiracy, especially in a world where cryptocurrencies are going mainstream. I wonder if for them to go mainstream, if the mainstream is going to remove the word crypto from it and start calling it something else and disassociate it from where it came from, that sound money community, that free market. Anyways, any thoughts on that?
I think the term cryptocurrency has a foothold in the community, and as people on-ramp and adopt into this ecosystem, I think that they'll probably stick with the vernacular cryptocurrency. I mean, it could go digital asset, I guess, but that may be the more suit and tie Wall Street trader that may go with that. But I think the everyday person that's just getting into this, that never traded currencies before, that are just trying to get into something new and try to get a head start on what inevitably is coming into our future, digital assets, cryptocurrencies, whatever you want to call them. It's inevitable that this will be the common currency or common form of asset. So I think cryptocurrency, to me, I like it, but that's probably because of the whole, like you said, it sounds a little
anti-establishment. Yeah
I like it. I like that. But you're right, the suit and tie guys are probably going to go with digital asset, and you might hear that more on the news than cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I think you're right. And guys like us who were around when Bitcoin and these cryptocurrencies were making their breakout and really birthed out of the sound money movement and really all the problems, the capital controls. And I know it's been said to control Bitcoin now or to control cryptocurrencies is like trying to hold water in your hand. It's impossible. And I guess I'm just anticipating how hard it is going to be for the JP Morgans of the world and, you know, the Janet Yellens and these government bureaucrats to start acknowledging cryptocurrencies in its current form. I just feel like they're going to want to package it and rebrand it in a different way that disassociates it from where it came from. That's what I see coming.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I mean, of course, they're going to try to make it, you know, approachable for their customers.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ken. Well, I want to get into the hard fork here, and I think it's really interesting what we're seeing with the Bitcoin Gold collapsing after the hard fork and Bitcoin actually coming down. And if you remember, in August, we had the Bitcoin Cash fork, and everyone was so scared of the Bitcoin Cash fork. Bitcoin came down and in anticipation of this, but then we had the fork. Bitcoin went on to double and more than double. And people were excited to get this, you know, a crypto dividend. And based on their last experience with that, here we are with the Bitcoin Gold hard fork. Everyone was piling into Bitcoin, you know, hand over fist, rushing into it, setting the price straight through 5,000, over 6,000 for a period of time. And here we had the fork, and now Bitcoin's coming down, and Bitcoin Cash is coming down. It's like everyone's dumping the Bitcoin Cash that they got, and maybe they're selling off Bitcoin a little bit. It's almost like the market has a way of not allowing people to make money based on, you know, their most recent experience. It's like the market priced in what just happened, and it's not exactly repeating what we saw in August. I don't know if you followed me there or not, but any thoughts on what we're seeing right now with Bitcoin Gold and the Bitcoin ecosystem?
Well, when it comes to this current fork compared to the last fork, I feel like there's a lot more people that got in and didn't understand what was happening and wanted to diversify their portfolio to mitigate risk of the fork for Bitcoin Cash, I mean. So you could have seen people maybe putting money into Litecoin, Ethereum, stuff like that, leading to the fork for Bitcoin Cash, and then waking up one day realizing that if they didn't dissolve their portfolio into other coins and kept the majority of Bitcoin, they would have gotten more of that quote-unquote dividend, Bitcoin Cash. So this recent one for Bitcoin Gold, I feel like people had a lot of altcoins that they intentionally flooded into Bitcoin just to get that, you know, airdrop of Bitcoin Gold, and now they're re-diversifying their portfolio accordingly after that. The same thing could happen again when we get closer to 2x, B2X, as Coinbase said they're going to be calling it. We got, you know, more forks coming our way, and I think that it's this current fork with Bitcoin Gold, you know, isn't competing with anything to do with Bitcoin. It's not mined the same way. You know, it's probably competing more with Ethereum than anything. And I think that's why a lot of people were a little excited about it, because Bitcoin Cash was asking for the miners to say that, you know, Bitcoin miners, hey, come over to our, you know, our blockchain. So technically it wasn't free money. They were stealing from the hash power of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin Cash, not free money. Bitcoin Gold, more so free money. So I think, you know, people after the most recent, the past fork with Bitcoin Cash and the most recent fork with Bitcoin Gold, they're a little bit more comfortable with what these terms mean, because these could all seem kind of scary. And when people start talking about replay attacks and double spending, it could make you feel like if you move one coin, you're going to lose all your coins. So the more that Bitcoin goes through these growing pains, the more people get comfortable with these updates or forks, as you like to call them. So I just think people are trading now with more education and less emotion.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I suppose going through these updates or forks is an interesting thing now as we approach 2x, which is more of a significant impact on what could happen with Bitcoin here. But after going through Bitcoin Cash, and that being really not a huge event for the Bitcoin ecosystem, We're going through the Bitcoin gold situation. You know, it's not taken away from Bitcoin largely. And in fact, it's, I think, making Bitcoin seem even that much more resilient. So having said that, having gone through Bitcoin Cash, having gone through Bitcoin Gold, do you think that puts more pressure on the 2X update? And do you think it's going to be even harder for the 2X chain to have any credibility or viability because that much more resilience has been instilled into Bitcoin, and just, I guess, people's perception of it are, hey, this is the one.
Yeah, no, you're right. BTC, Bitcoin, is the one. And these forks, time and time, have proven it, and it will time again after this. And yeah, I think you're right. People have more, of a, if I hold this one, this is the one that gives me the, I have to say, quote unquote, dividend, because if I hold BTC Bitcoin, people may keep forking it and trying to create their own thing. And then the futures trade, give it value, I get the airdrop, and I can sell that thing or hold it or trade it for the thing I do want. I'm excited for these updates to keep coming, but I think that Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, and stuff like this has taken away a little bit of the power 2X was trying to have. B2X was really trying to claim that they're the main chain, that they're Bitcoin, and it's just kind of funny now that everyone's like, oh, we're over it, just shut up. You're like, we've already done this twice already, you're nothing special. So I feel like these forks are just taking away from the power that the SegWit 2X thought they had.
Yeah, no, I think that I'm getting that feeling too. And I'm wondering, I'm very interested in seeing what happens, because I'm open to the potential of being surprised. I never want to act like I know 100% what is going to happen. If I did, I would invest 100% in whatever idea I had, because then I would be completely invincible if I knew 100% what was going to be the future. But that's not the case. So I'm open to being potentially shocked going forward. And having said that, is there any sort of concern that we should have as Bitcoin investors as we approach the 2X hard fork?
Just be prepared for, to get your airdrop. Make sure your cryptocurrencies are all in the right places that support these kinds of splits. It's very unfortunate when people, I told a lot of people, hey, I use Jack's Wallet. I do like Jack's Wallet. I tell people to use Jack's Wallet, but I told people not to use Jack's Wallet for the Bitcoin Cash fork. And they didn't listen. And they're still waiting to receive that forked asset. And I think that it's very important when we come to these things where we're getting, splits, that we put our currencies in wallets that support these forks and upgrades, so you're not missing out on your dues. So it's very important to make sure you know where to store your currencies. And me personally, I have never been let down by Ledger. I've been using my Ledger Blue, and they've supported every split, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, and I think this is the only one, Bitcoin B2X. Actually, Coinbase is even going to support it. So just look around and make sure your money's in the right place, so you don't get skipped over when the airdrop comes.
Speaking of your money in the wrong places, any news potentially that you're aware of people getting their money back from the BTC-E shutdown? Is there any hope for people who had money in that exchange?
Not even just to single out that exchange, but that could happen to any exchange. People should know that when they have their money in an exchange, it's just like having your money in a bank. If that bank disappears, your money disappeared with it. That's very unfortunate, and I don't know how hopeful I am of BTC-E paying everybody back. Hopefully, yeah, for everybody's sake, but will they? We'll see. Some exchanges, I think it was Bitfinex or something like that, did that in the past, where they had a fiasco and they figured out a way to get everybody their dues. But, there could be a chance any exchange at any time is either forced out of existence by legal regulations, or for their own reasons, just disappear with your money. I know a couple people that have Bittrex accounts that are locked, and that seems to be going around the internet a lot, and some people are calling it fake news or whatever, but it's starting to look like a lot of people are having problems logging into Bittrex. I have a verified account. They still won't let me withdraw my funds. So I swore off exchanges altogether. I don't think I'll ever use another one again.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. And I asked that question because I know a lot of people who've actually lost money on the BTC-E shutdown as of recently, and I've been getting some questions about that. And it makes sense to me that they would just try to get people's money back. But I know that it was a very simple wallet to obtain, and there wasn't a whole lot of identifying information for people. And that's the one problem about that. If they did want to try to reach out to you, I guess it was the email address. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of identifying information to get the Bitcoin, the crypto, back to everyone, which is, I guess, the wild west of the cryptocurrency space. There's all the opportunity, but in the Wild West, you could also get shot by Indians too, right? So, and I think that's what happened on this exchange, and that's why it's important for people to know the risk of holding your own or not holding your own private keys. So, Ken, if you have any additional thoughts on that, please share it. But I want to know how bullish you are on Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin's at 5,500. People were saying Bitcoin was a bubble at 1,000, at 500, at 50, at 25. At every moment in Bitcoin's existence, it's been in a bubble. But what are your long-term beliefs as to how high Bitcoin can go?
Oh, I'm with John McAfee. It's probably, I think his 500,000 by 2020 is pretty doable. The year of the halving, we get to 2020, we have the supply issuance gets half, to the mining reward gets cut in half again. So it adds a little more scarcity. God knows how many people will lose Bitcoin along that way. It's a very scarce currency. Bullish, very. My portfolio is probably 60 to 70% Bitcoin, 30 to 40 Ethereum, Litecoin, and some other alts. So, I'm very confident in Bitcoin. Yeah, I've been all in since I got in, actually. I guess I forgot to mention that. But every time I get a paycheck, I buy all three crypto, 1/3. I get paid weekly, so I buy crypto weekly, and I almost never have US dollar. I only keep enough to pay rent, so I don't have to sell crypto at the end of the month. It's just, I was doing that at first. It got a little complicated. But like you said, the one thing I want people to maybe get from this is be careful using any kind of high yield, risky investment sites or loaning sites, anything that's where people are pushing, use my referral links. Just be careful about any of those sites, because if you think the exchanges could disappear with your money, if you're on some lending site for any amount of time, that's just you're gambling in an illegal casino, and it could disappear any moment. So just buy and hold. Just buy and hold and accumulate and stack on the quantity of coin that you have. And by the year 2020, we'll all be rocking yachts.
Oh, man. Yeah, I know Adam Meister was on my show, and that was what he said. He said, hey, hold your Bitcoin till the year 2020. And this was back when Bitcoin was, man, it feels like it was so long ago, because Bitcoin was, I think $800 or $900 when he said that on my show. And I'm just like, people are waiting for that halving. And I'm just wondering, do you think that it all has to do with the debasement of all the fiat currencies around the world, or is cryptocurrencies taking on its own momentum of buying and people surging into it at this point?
That's the $1 million question, right? Is Bitcoin going up, or is the US dollar going down?
Well, I guess because it's doing so well, and it's bringing on a new, I guess, base of buyers, because the fact is people are more interested in Bitcoin 5,500 than they were of Bitcoin 500. I mean, now you have hedge funds and big money, institutional money getting into
Fidelity,
Bitcoin.
right?
Yeah, and so that's the thing. You know, you have all this big money getting into cryptocurrency, and it's sad that more people weren't interested in it when Bitcoin was 500, but it's taken that move from 500 to 5,000 to wake people up. And the more people that wake up, the more people pile into it. So I am very bullish on cryptocurrencies. I think it has a lot more room to go higher. I mean, we're just now with Bitcoin at $100 billion market cap. When it hit 6,000, I think we're a little under that now. But I mean, I think $1 trillion is very doable, and even more.
Oh, certainly. I mean, I speak to a lot of people that are traditional investors, and they're millionaires. Like they have a lot of money, and they're eager to get cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum, Litecoin into their portfolio. And the question I get asked a lot is, how can I buy like $20,000 worth of Bitcoin? Like, good luck. I don't know. It's still that difficult to obtain. It's scarce. It's rare. That's why it's valuable. And you mentioned earlier, it's not just money. This is a digital utility. This has a use case that gives it value, and then it can be used as money, as a currency based off that value. It's Bitcoin isn't just money. It's a technology that has yet to be utilized. Just wait for that, quote unquote killer app, and that's it. When Bitcoin isn't just money anymore, that's it.
Well, that's, I think, the perfect place to end this interview. Kenn, first of all, thanks for coming on Crush the Street. It was a pleasure having you on. If people want to learn more about you, what you do, and the content that you're providing, please let them know what they can find.
Oh, you can find me on Facebook. I am super active on there. You can message me. We can chat and comment on my posts. Kenneth Bosak or Kenn Bosak on Facebook. YouTube as well, Kenn Bosak, and KennBosak.com. That's KENN. 2 N's, Bosak. So Kenn Bosak. And yeah, man, please, everybody, if you're listening, you want to reach out, say hi, ask any questions, you need any help, reach out. I literally am happy to help.